Hello, it is September the 11th, a very significant day. Just remember what happened and remember all that it has led to around the world ever since. That's all I'm going to say about that. Have you, especially if you go to Magdalan Way Methodist Church in Gorleston, Great Yarmouth, seen this document from the Methodist Church, a summary of the Methodist Church Conference position on Israel and Palestine. Some people at that church seem to be a little bit concerned about my personal position on Israel and Palestine. In fact, they're so concerned about my personal position on Israel and Palestine, and apparently my position on LGBTQI issues, that they have reported their concerns to the Reverend Judith Bell, probationer presbyter at our church. So what do they say, these guidelines? Because, this is all about what the Reverend Judith Bell wanted me to look at. Well, let's look at it then, okay? Methodist through reports and memorials, the Methodist Conference has agreed to a position on the ongoing occupation and conflict in the Holy Land. Well, that's good. At least they can see that it is an occupation that has led to a conflict. Set out conclusions that the conference, ding, 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 I put it to thee, conference, a point of order, conference, yeah? Sees the conclusions are set out below. The Methodist Church position is that the return of the borders to the 1967 status of Jerusalem as a place for two nations and three faiths with parity of esteem is the real basis upon which trust could be built up among different communities. The desire for a lasting peace can only be based on trust, security, and freedom from fear of all people in the area. The State of Israel has a right to exist. I'm never going to question the State of Israel's right to exist. Palestinians have the same right to self-determination. Of course, I'm not going to question that. The State of Palestine should be recognized. Wow, Judith, they even say that the State of Palestine should be recognized. Yeah, the Methodist Conference in 2024 called on the British government to recognise the State of Palestine. Well, then we get a little bit on the violence. I'm assuming the Israeli violence, or we could be talking about the violence on both sides. The occupation, the building of illegal settlements on Palestinian land, I quote from the conference document, is illegal under international humanitarian law and should be reversed. Yeah, all should have freedom of movement and the right to worship in the region. The rights of Palestinian refugees should be upheld. The entrenched military rule of Israel on the West Bank, subjecting Palestinians to living behind walls and checkpoints, satisfies the prevailing evidentiary standards for the existence of apartheid. Israel is an apartheid state by the UN Special Rapporteur, and see his report 21st of March 2022. Just finally, Israel's occupation of the West Bank and the blockade of Gaza are illegal, and we call for the occupation and the blockade to end. The arms embargo, well, yeah, we're supposed to be going, well, don't think we should send them anything and whatever, but doesn't seem to stop the British government, does it? Right, I want to go on to something else now, because Judith, when we meet, is yet to be determined. My mental health is probably not up to a meet at the moment, but you're going to have to give me a day, okay? Now, what I want you to understand is that the IMEU, Institute for Middle East Understanding, goes back further in this, right? And it goes back to the position in 1948 to 1949, where ethnic cleansing and apartheid during Israel's establishment. Let me just quote what this document says, yeah? So we're not just talking about Methodist policies here that I'm supposed to, be upholding? Am I? I don't know. Yeah. Between 1948 and 1949, Zionist militias and the Israeli army ethnically cleansed between 750,000 and 1 million indigenous Palestinians in order to establish Israel as a Jewish majority state, including dozens of massacres of Palestinian civilians. Of Palestinian civilians. More than 400 Palestinian cities, towns, and villages were systematically destroyed by Israel or repopulated with Jewish Israelis. Many of them are recent immigrants from Europe, obviously the Second World War, the Holocaust, and all that lot. Ever since, millions of Palestinian refugees have been denied, note this, their internationally recognized legal right to return to their homes as enshrined in UN Resolution 194, because they are not Jewish. Go back to apartheid state. The Israeli government encourages Jews to immigrate from all over the world to live on stolen Palestinian land. Approximately 150,000 Palestinians survived the ethnic cleansing and remained in what became Israel in 1948. The new Israeli government expropriated most of their land for use of Jewish Israelis while granting them citizenship, governed them by a repressive and discriminatory military rule until 1966. Right, you've got a problem with my views on Palestine, somebody in Magway Methodist Church. You got a problem with that. You don't think that what I am taking from documents like this somehow matches up to what the Methodist summary of the conference position on Israel and Palestine is all about. You got a problem with that? You got a problem with that? Bring it to me. All right? Look, here I am now, publicly on YouTube. This is a video. Bring your problem to me. Yeah? Don't go and wail about it to somebody in my church. Don't go behind my back on it. Bring it to me. All right? I want to know who you are. I want to know who you are. Now, if you haven't got the guts to reveal yourself, obviously there's nothing I can do about it. Yeah? Clearly you have not got the guts to reveal yourself. Yeah? And on the LGBT one, what on earth have I violated there? For crying out loud, there is definitely some homophobe in our, most likely our church, who is sending hate mail to my friends. That person clearly exists, yeah? But what have you got on against me for my views on LGBTQI people? Why don't you just bring it to me, rather than being gutless enough to have to hide behind the Reverend Judith Bell. Yeah, it's public. It's staying on YouTube. If you want to block the video or get it taken down or something, then speak to YouTube, okay? Speak to YouTube, get the video taken down, yeah? This is public information. These names are out there. You know, people in our church and whatever, especially people responsible for the church hierarchy, are out there in public. They are on public forums. Now, what I'm going to say then again is I am obsessing about a lot of this stuff, and it's not good for my mental health. Judith, I want to meet you. I really, really do. But for the moment, it may have to be when I'm in a better place mentally. Because if I can't meet the people who are making these complaints face to face, yeah, then I'm going to have to meet somebody who is listening to their complaint and passing on their complaint. Peace out, folks, and you know where to find me. Bye.